there's
Yeah.
something about that drive. It sounds like you had that sports background, the idea of leadership. It seems like you needed some more adventure in the daily process of passion, excitement. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And with architecture, you're not gonna become an independent,
Yeah.
successful being after 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. You would need at least 20 years before you're even
Wow.
recognized and considered seriously, unless you
Wow,
somehow
wow, wow.
get this big break and you might know someone in the construction field that's commissioned an amazing building or whatever that wants to be done.
Yeah.
And so you really have to it's a patience thing and it's a time consuming thing. And if you've met a real architect, a true architect, you will find that he is borderline depressed.
I mean,
That
is this
he's
like
somehow
common?
no, it's a common thing. I mean,
Wow, okay.
listen, first day in studio, you're like, all right, cool, here we go.
Okay.
By the second, third day, you haven't slept by this stage.
You mean
You're a
slept?
zombie.
Sleep?
Yeah,
They don't,
you spend time just not sleeping.
okay, so
We don't sleep.
I think
It's
this
like
is
being an engineer.
I think this is important. So,
Yeah.
just the archetype of an architect, for example, you come in as an architect, your idea is, okay, you're going to design a building or whatever. That's like your project for the moment, right? Is the architect charged with actually drawing the entire beginning, what this building is going to look like, and then breaking it all the way down? Or is it like a combination of they work with a few people to get the main drawing and then they break it down? Or just to give people an idea of like the mindset that you were moving away from?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you're in architecture school, you're coming up with the concepts and then you're coming up with the design, then you're tweaking the design and going over structural elements and things like that along the way. But when you're in a firm, it works like this. You go to the firm and they've had a piece commissioned for them to do, and you're either coming up with a concept or you're doing a part of a project or you're doing a detailed drawing, which is not fun. I mean, taking a drawing or a detailed drawing of a beam is just not enjoyable, or a nail going through,
Wow. This is very
micro-managed
aspect of it. Like, it has to be so perfect.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. It's not enjoyable. But there are some people that thoroughly enjoy it, and I commend them for it. That's what their life purpose is.
Right.
And so I very quickly knew that wasn't my life purpose. I still wanted to get into the creative field. I think all throughout college, actually, I was looking for little business opportunities. And actually, if I was to go back maybe a couple years before, what I used to do in high school, because don't forget I was in a boarding school,
right,
was I would go to the tuck shop, which is like a on-campus store with candy, all that jazz.
Yeah.
Candy, chips, whatever. And I would buy as much as I can from the tuck shop. Obviously, that was the limit. And I would wait until maybe about 7 or 8 when I knew that all the local stores were shut. And then maybe try and sell it off just so I can buy some pizza at the end of the night, kind of thing. So sometimes people would literally just give me money, but yeah, I mean that was just like a little.
Now this is it. This is very interesting because you hear all entrepreneurs mention this. I did the same thing when I was 12 years old. I wanted a Super Nintendo color TV. My mother was doing that so great, so I said, okay, how am I going to get this money, right? And I ran out, knocked on doors. We started raking lawns. I got a couple of friends to help me. They're giving us 10s, 20s. And it added up to be $200-something in a month or two.
Yeah, by the end of the time.
Now, what was the birth of that? Was it just the necessity of extra cash? Was it the pizza? Was it the food that you hated in the school? What was the birth of that desire? Because that's important for people to know, entrepreneurs, you know, how we see things.
Yeah, I think every entrepreneur is different first and foremost. And for me, I would definitely say it was just at the end of the day, I knew I needed $10 for a pizza.
Okay.
And that was it. So if I can make my way up to $10, don't forget, I already had a limited stock. I was good. And I had sold my pride like at such a high rate that it was like, I just need to sell maybe 3 or 4 things and then I'm good. That way I save money from my Tuck Shop account and I just sell maybe 3 bags of chips.
It was a clear cost benefit type of thing. Like you saw the benefit, the desire, and look, the money solves this. If I can just get this. So that's very practical, but it's a seed of something. It's a seed of something.
Yeah, it was. It was. I'm sure a lot of people definitely like forget that because it was like I would it would be like, literally like once a week when it was pizza night that I'd be going around hustling for money kind of thing. Like, and it was so funny because some kids were like, oh yeah, no, I don't want anything back because I'm getting pizza already, but I could give you a slice in return. So I understand what that transaction felt like all the time.
Wow. Firstly, it's like a little microeconomy.
Right. Exactly. And that always felt good. I never felt embarrassed about it. Like I was really just myself, just doing dumb shit, just to try and like get a pizza at the end of the night. You know? And funny enough, I would never even like get the piece of my jeans. I would always like get like the cheap pieces. So I had a little bit left over, so I can go out that weekend and get some McDonald's. You know, like it was like it was something that just somehow worked. And then on top of that, like in my summers, actually, I remember I always wanted to get a new pair of socky cleats, boots for those on this part of the world.
Right.
And what I would do was I would do paper rounds. So I would be like from like 13 to about 15, I'll be doing paper rounds every summer.
That's classic. We've heard that story.
Now, right. But the funny thing is, like, you only get paid maybe about like $7, $8, $10 a week. So I mean, it's not even that much, but at the end of the day, it's cash, and you learn what that can do for you in the long term, right? Yeah. And that feeling of making the final transaction from your hand, the cash you worked so hard for all summer, waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock just to go cycle around the neighborhood and deliver papers. Right. You know, you get back, and you know that's what you do.
And then you're able to give the thing that you desired or wanted.
Yeah.
And you see that to me is very important for success. It's the connection between I can do these action steps and create this result in my life, you know? And I think a lot of people look at success as these big things like millionaire, billionaire, big company and all that. But it's really a continuous process of setting these goals and achieving them, you know, these little things you want.
Exactly. And I guess from that, like, I wanted to always do something that was quite entrepreneurial. Like, that was like my first taste of entrepreneurship.
Got you.
Not to say I'm super successful right now, because I don't know what success is, and I think it's such a subjective term anyway.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah.
But yeah,
like I said, and I even look at it as a process. They always say this old cliche quote: "Success is a journey, not a destination."
Right. So a lot of people wouldn't understand that.
Yeah, and that's actually how I live and view success. I look at it like, if you and I are discussing this and we plan to do this and we're discussing this, it was successful, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you stack up these processes of success that add up to a larger result.
Thing.
That's how I view it.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.